to welcome everyone to the conversation where we talk about everything Cowboys. My favorite team, your favorite team, America's team. Here with your host, Coach Marv.
Cowboy Nation, how are y'all doing, man? Hey, I just came in to stop in here right quick. Now, got some plans I got to get to, but I wanted to stop in because wanted to give a point of view. I just want to talk about one topic right quick. The topic I'm talking about here is there's a lot of stuff going on. I talked about Pickens on yesterday. But there's a lot of stuff going on with a lot of panicking going on about how we're going to go about fixing this defense. And I hear a lot of people talking about we need to go get a bunch of free agents. I hear a lot of people talking about we need to go get trade and get Cosby and trade and get people for our defense. And defenses are built with younger players. And you got to trust your staff here. I don't think the Cowboys went out and got this younger staff, these great minds that they got to say, hey, what we're gonna do is go get them a ready-made defense. Because I'm believing that I'm seeing that out of all these guys, they have built defenses up from the ground up. And they have built guys to start on their defenses from the ground up. And there's something that I saw today that but that trade George Pickens for Cosby thing, that's harder than what y'all think it is. That's not a one-name trade. And if you're Oakland, you're the Las Vegas, you're not trading player for player. And they're gonna want a first-round draft pick. And you don't think we should give our first-round draft picks. If I told you the last three defenses redirected their defenses with the draft, what would you say? If I told you could fix your secondary and get your secondary to be top ranked, just drafting guys and playing rookies, what would you say? A lot of you will say this thing's no, coach, we don't want to go with no rookies, man, because they got to break in. If I told you the last three Super Bowl champions had at least two defensive starters that was rookies, and they played outstandingly well, what would you say? And three of those teams did not have had one first-round draft pick, maybe two. What would you say? I told you I wasn't going to keep you long, but I'm going to give you some proof. I told you I wasn't going to keep you long, but I'm going to give you some proof. I told you I wasn't going to keep you long, but I'm going to give you some proof of what I'm talking about. I'm going to give you some proof of what I'm talking about. Let's start from the bottom of this page. Kansas City. Remember Kansas City won 2 years ago. On their second championship in 2023 when they won their back-to-back championship when they beat when they beat Philadelphia. That team, Kansas City, which their defense at that year ranked in the top 3. That's the same year that they didn't score a touchdown in the they didn't score a point in the second half of the AFC game, AFC playoff game on the road in Baltimore and still won. That's the same year Kansas City offense went 6 games without scoring a point in the second half, and they went. I think they only lost 3 games that year. That team. That's the team that year, Kansas City, only gave up 10 plays that was over 30 yards in a season. We have given up 30. We have given 6 30-yard plays, 5 or 6 in one game. In a whole season, they didn't give up a supposed to play but 10 plays over 30 yards. That Kansas City team that won the back-to-back Super Bowls. That Kansas City team was heavily relied on several rookies in their secondary. Rookies in their secondary in 2023. Rookies. I said this one time before, but people didn't listen to me. I said that a couple of years ago. People didn't listen to me, but this is several rookies featuring the first round pick, Trent McDuffie, and the second round safety, Brian Cooks, right? And a 4/7 round corners, Josh Williams and Jalen Watson. Remember, they traded the almost player of the year cornerback to the Titans that was on the team before, all-world corner, the guy that was in our training camp. They traded him. But this is what their defensive coordinator put together. They earned their money. So you don't have to have names. You got to have guys that's gonna play the right way. And you got to have guys that's gonna get baptized. You're gonna stick with them, and they're gonna come through and play well. They won the Super Bowl with these people, folks. They had one of the best defenses in the NFL, folks. With a bunch of rookies in the secondary, folks. That's in 2023. So everybody say, "Oh, coach, well, yeah, that's lightning in a bottle." Okay, let's go to the next year. When Philadelphia won the Super Bowl in 2024, they relied on rookies in their secondary in 2024 with a first-round pick at Quinn Melcher, who started the opposite cornerback, and a second-round pick in Cooper DeJean, who became a key starter in the nickel cornerback. I think DeJean had the interception in the Super Bowl. After week 4, they significantly contributed to their Super Bowl run. Unlike the previous struggles, 2 rookies started in their secondary in 24. That's 2 teams. Now you can say, okay, well, that's just coach, that's just 2 key contributors, rookies. On the Philadelphia defense was the number 1 defense in 24. Kansas City was the number 3 defense, I think, in 23. When you say, well, coach, let's go to another year. Let's go to this year. Seattle had a standout rookie in their secondary. Guy from South Carolina, from right around here, where I'm staying at, from Irmo, who was a major contributor and a finalist for the Defensive Rookie Player of the Year. He had a key role in the defense that reached the Super Bowl. He played multiple positions and was praised for his football intelligence and versatility in covering slots, tight ends, and supporting the run. A key to the number 1 defense of this year. A rookie and not a first-round draft pick. The Philly story, guess who was there coaching these guys up? Your defense coordinator. Guess who's going to try to do this, recount the same stuff in Dallas? He's not going to get no free agents. They're going to utilize the guys they got, and they're going. Listen, these people created a secondary that was on a number 3, a number 1, and a number 1 defense. What you think we could do with 2 first-round draft picks, defensive draft picks, with this coaching staff? We're a lack of talent all the way around. No. I say to you, I'm not giving my picks up from Cosby. I'm building a dominant, and I always told you, defense is built with young guys. Offense is built with veterans. If you want to get some veterans, go get them offensive. But if you want to get some defensive guys and you want them to play the right way, you need your own guys. And you need to mold them, and they need to be on the field. They need to be young. They need to be healthy. There's no time for, we don't have no time. The key to this defense getting better is from day one, from when minicamp start. Coach Parker and these coaching staff want everybody healthy to go through every rep, every OTA, every rep in training camp. There's no guy sitting around talking about, well, we heard, and we don't have, he don't really have to work it out because we know how he can play. No. That's killed Matt Eagleflus more than anything else. Your safeties didn't even play this holiday. They ain't hardly practice none in because they had knick-knack injuries. Because they were older. This defense can be turned around with this draft. It already was turned around several years ago with the Dan Quinn draft. Y'all could talk crazy, but Olsen was a contributor a lot. Chauncey Golden contributed a lot. And of course, Michael Parsons contributed a great deal. You don't have to go chase. You got to allow this defensive staff to cook. I gave you 3 instances in 3 years of Super Bowl champions that had Super Bowl type defenses that improved their defense greatly with young guys and rookies. Three scenarios. Three scenarios where there was multiple rookies or big time rookies that contribute, that were leading people on their defenses. So when you start getting all this talk about it there, well, you don't want to get enough because they're rookies, they got to come. Listen, no. This secondary can be rebuilt with rookie guys. Then our next question is, and I'm gonna leave it this: we got a lot of people talking about, well, we need defensive end. I believe we're going 3-4. We're going 3-4. Yeah, we can talk about defensive end. Yes, we do need to get a linebacker. Yes, I don't think the linebackers are so bad to the point where they're horrible. But yes, we do need to get a linebacker. But I will say it again, and I'm gonna say it standing on the roof. I've been saying it for 2 years, and I'm gonna still hold to it. Some of my counterparts ain't got on board with it yet, but they will. Because they'll figure it out. But this safety position has to be rectified, and not rectified with patchwork. I hear people out there, I seen a story today talking about, well, Donovan Wilson was multiple and he did this and Donald did. No. I tell anybody to check the tape. Donald did not make plays. He missed the more plays than he made. Because this system was ready made for him to make plays. Yes, it was ready made for him to make plays. And this system that's coming up, if I think that they're going to a 3-4, it's going to be ready made for safeties to be stars. Not guys that are going to run up and watch the pals. Not guys that are not going to be physical. Not guys that just holding a uniform position or just filling out the roster to say we playing safety. Not guys that just be in there. Not guys that we say, oh, well, they're slow. They can't get there. Not guys that say it's going to be for playmakers. Two things is issues in this. We need size at that, and we need speed. I've said it, and I'll say it again. A lot of things I've said has come to fruition. Y'all need to go with coach on this. Fix that safety position with two dogs, and watch this defense pop. Watch your linebackers play better. Watch everything improve on that back end, and it's going to improve the front end. But I need instinctive, fast dogs at safety. Fix that. And you'll be going to a big way because history says we have never had a good defense without good safety play. Even when Quinn was here, the year that we had his best defense, Kurst and Wilson were dominant. They had the two safeties or whoever safeties hadn't been dominant since then. I'll show you three instances that three Super Bowl teams from 23, 24, and 25 years depended on rookies in their secondary to lead their secondary. Three of them were safeties. Yes. Kansas City had a safety in corners. Philadelphia had a safety. Two cornerbacks. A slot corner, both of them was multiple. All of them could tackle. All of them was aggressive. All of them could cover it. All of them was young. All of them had smarts. You could get that in the draft early on. This defense could be fixed with three good first three picks defensively. Because your cover ain't bad by a long shot. Teams will kill for the defensive line you have. You sign only person you can sign back. I would sign Clowney because it ain't gonna cost you no arm and a leg. People kill for the defensive line you got. This defense can be fixed easily, but it's gotta come. If and I said this too, and I said this since last year, and then my trust gets wane with him, and it wane with everybody else. But if you're gonna bring guys in here, why are you hiring them when I gotta bring everybody? I gotta go fix it with all-star $20 million guys. I watched three defenses. The last three defenses they go spent $20 million. They brought pieces in that fit, but they got some draft picks to work too. See, we forget about we watch a full roster. See, we try to focus in on one or two players, and then we try to make a name and say that. But these guys got their draft picks. All these guys in these teams have gotten their draft picks to contribute. All of them not going to be stars, but it's about fitting doing your part. It's the sum of the parts always in football. I'll give you three examples. I need to show you again because I'm about to get out of here, but I'm gonna show you again. Let's go back and share again. Because some of you people that's coming in, they're gonna say, well, no, coach, I don't believe that that happened. I don't believe, oh shucks. I don't know, when I took the thing off. Let me go back and get it for you. Some of y'all gonna come and say, coach, that ain't no, that's not the case. I don't believe that I don't believe that these people did this. And I told you, let me give you again. Let me give it again. Let me say it again. We get listen, 3 Super Bowl teams, the last 3 Super Bowl teams did it with rookies in their secondary. I hear people talking about, oh, we need a veteran corner. No, we don't. You need a guy that can play. Let's look at this. Kansas City relied heavily on several rookies in their secondary in their Super Bowl run. That's when they won the back-to-back. I told you their stats. They were third, I think, a third and fourth ranked defense. They only gave up like 10 plays over 35 yards in the season. They didn't give up big plays. Their offense was not that good in 2023. They went 6 games without scoring a touchdown in the second half. 6 games. In the AFC Championship game, they didn't score a point in the second half. I think it won 17-13. They scored a point on the road. They won the Super Bowl, and they went with featuring a first-round pick, a second-round safety, and 4th and 7th round cornerbacks who had significant contribution. They were totally rookie up in their secondary. And they won the Super Bowl and had a good defense. So don't tell me, oh, well, you know, and we got guys in their second year that I think is going to play well. We fixed the safety position. I think we could be this could well as be us easily. Philly, the next year. People want to talk about Philly. Philly went in where their defense struggled the year before. They went to the Super Bowl. They struggled the year before. Remember, they couldn't stop nobody. They went and got everybody talk about the other corner. They went and drafted the corner, Quentin Mitchell. They went in the second round and got Cooper DeJean. Both of them started in the nickel corner. And week 4, they put those guys in the starting lineup and they went on to start their run. 2 rookies. Seattle had a rookie, and they have safety from University of South Carolina. I think he was like a 3rd round draft pick, but he played a major role for the defensive player of the year, rookie of the year, defensive player. He played multiple positions and was praised by his intelligence, and he could cover slots, he can cover tight ends, and he can support the run. He was a dominant player on a dominant defense. Dominant defense that year, dominant defense that year, and a dominant defense that year. These were done by rookies in the secondary. So when everybody started talking about we need to get veterans, I can understand when I always say, well, my philosophy is to say, well, if it catches lightning out of the bottle, I don't really go with it. Well, if it's just 1 year out of several years, I'm gonna say, well, that's just lightning out of the bottle. These are the last 3 years. And it's going to be done again next year. Last 3 years. And one of these years with Philly, our defensive coordinator was part of. So you don't think he don't think you could do it this way? He does. That's why they got him, because they say he is a good coacher, motivator, and he can rise the level of his players. So this can't be done, and we don't have to go out there and be throwing away our draft picks trying to get old guys. And let me tell you something about old guys defensively. Old guys don't work on defense. When guys start getting rid of, make sure y'all understand this. When teams start trading their defensive players, not with Michael Parsons, but usually when they start trading their defensive players, they got some mileage on them. But you're going to win the Super Bowl with young players. Now let me explain, because I know somebody gonna say this, and I want to say this right quick because I want to make sure that, because I know somebody's finna jump on this and they finna do this, and they're gonna probably come up with some other stuff. But they gonna, first thing they're gonna say, well, coach, we want a situation like Charles Haley. Or coach, we want a situation like Deion Sanders. Well, let me explain to you how those situations was. Charles Haley came here. Only thing Charles Haley came here to do is to give the inspiration. But when Charles Haley could tell you himself, when he came here, this defense was loaded with young players about the bud to be in stardom. Yeah. When Charles Haley came here, his best years was in San Francisco. I'm not saying he was garbage here, but his best years was in San Francisco. When he came here the first year, I think he got 10 sacks. He did make a Pro Bowl. Matter of fact, the year he came here, we won the Super Bowl that year. None of our defensive players made the Pro Bowl. We had two young cornerbacks, Kevin Smith and Larry Brown. And I think in second and third year. Yeah. The defense were totally young. And they were the number one defense in the league. We had a running game, and Troy Aikman was good, but he wasn't killing the pass and the stats. And the same blueprint that they won, the Cowboys won their first Super Bowl 30 some years ago, is the same blueprint the Seattle's using right now. Today. Same blueprint the Eagles use. And both of them did it with young defenses. They sprinkled a veteran here and there, but they raised the level of their young defenses. Charles Haley's best years was in San Francisco. His most dominant years was in San Francisco. When he got to Dallas, he was in a part of a rotation. Not saying that Charles didn't dominate, do well, but he was in a rotation because he had back problems. He had dominant years at San Francisco, MVP years. But he was a part of the rotation with Jim Jeffco. When Jim Jeffco had 7, 8, 9 sacks himself every year. Tony Tolbert. Yeah. Deion Sanders came here with a team that already had won 2 Super Bowls and went to the NFC Championship game. Come on, man. He came to a defense that was already, and then when Deion did come here, remember, he didn't play like the first 5 or 6 games because he was hurt. I remember that. And we still dominated. See, things ain't what you see until you look into it. Sometimes we lose our mind because we hear names and we say, oh, well, that Deion came when the team was already dominant. that would have played for their third Super Bowl in a row if Troy Aikman don't throw 3 interceptions at the beginning of the game. And I'm not afraid to say that. But Jerry made that move because the fans were pushing. And the coaching staff was leaking oil. But I don't think this coaching staff is leaking oil. And I think that there's a bright coaching staff that can get what we need. But I don't think we should throw our draft picks away chasing a 30-some-year-old guy. When I just seen 3 teams do it and added rookies and turn their whole team around. And matter what we could do with first-round draft picks. And an early third, I believe. I'm going 3 draft picks defensively right off the bat. We're going to rock and roll with this defense. If I can get 2 guys that's half Michael Parsons like, which you can get guys in the late first round defense because everybody trying to get these offensive guys. Man, give me a safety and a linebacker, and come back and give me a corner or a defensive end and an outside linebacker. You go 3-4 outside linebacker or DN or what in the third round. Then we could, whatever y'all want to draft in, we can draft. We get some offensive. We want to draft offensive lineman in or whatever. After that, that's it. We may still pick up another guy down the stretch. Give me quality guys up front of the, and we're working. We're rolling because I believe in this coaching staff. If you believe in this coaching staff, if you say what we said, give them some guys and let them do their damn job. Because you got to ready to make a guy job, then what you got for? What we got all this stuff for? What we talking about? When you hire somebody for a job, you hire them so they're going to make you money. They're going to cost you less. That's anybody who hires somebody for a job. You don't hire somebody for a job, they're going to cost you more money for them to be successful. That goes back to what I said about pimping back. I gave y'all 3 instances, man. Take those things out there. I posted on Twitter. I posted a Twitter thing saying, "Hey, man, maybe not, maybe it's those, but again, Kansas City did it in 2023. Same thing was done with 2 rookies in 2021 with Philadelphia. And guess what? Guess what Philadelphia got their idea from Kansas City the year before? Duh. Philadelphia took that same blueprint that Kansas City used the year before, and they say, well, we ain't got to go out here and get no free agents. Let's get these guys to play better. And let's draft somebody. And Seattle probably see what other teams did and say, hey, we ain't got to go out here and get a free safety. Let's draft the guy. Let's raise the bar on our players. We get a player here and there that can fill in, but we're going to raise the bar. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to get the Super Bowl. They went back to their DNA. See how DNA is run, good defense, and time to playing for the quarterback. That's their DNA of their franchise. That's how they win. And guess what, people? They took the same franchise, same blueprint that we did 30 damn years ago and won the Super Bowl in 2000. 25 with 2026. Philadelphia was the same blueprint we took 30 years ago. They use it tonight. So all y'all out there talking about, well, you know, football done changed and it's different now. The same doggone blueprint. If you look at Jalen Hurts throwing stats compared to the league last year, it was round in the same spot where Troy Aikman was at. If you look at Donald's throwing stats, when you look at the league, is around in the same type of area that Troy Aikman was. Troy ain't never led the league in passing yards. He never led the league in touchdowns. But he threw timely passes, and when anytime Troy had to throw the ball 40 times in a game, he lost most of the time. Check the record. I ain't saying Troy was a bad quarterback, but their DNA was control the game, make big plays on offense, utilize the tight end, utilize the second wide receiver, dominate with their first wide receiver, Michael Irvin, to make plays, make sure they have a solid running game, and play outstanding defense. That was their blueprint for the Cowboys. Guess what? If you look at the years with Roger Staubach, there were very few years Roger Staubach led the league in yards. There was other quarterbacks that threw the ball more than he did, but he had a run game and he had a dominating defense. I'm not saying that they were bad, but that was the blueprint for the Cowboys to win. I don't care if it was 70s, 90s, or 2026. It's the exact same blueprint because that is the Cowboys' DNA. And the more you try to fight what you are already built for and what you already built successful for, the more you fight it in football, and this is where the more you fight it in life, you spin your doggone wheels. But know why we criticize that? And that's a great comment. Know why? That's a great comment. It's not game managers. It's everybody's a game manager. All the quarterbacks is game managers. You just can't put when you listen. When you drive a car, when a NASCAR guy out there driving the car, he knows when to speed up, when to slow down. He just gonna go out there and just put his foot on the gas pedal and just run around and just run over everybody. He got to know when to go, when to hold a window, when to draft, when to let other people work for him. That's what a quarterback does. That's his job. If he's the leader, he is going to be the manager. That's why you say typically more wins as manager. Because what? Tell me who's not a manager. Look at the Super Bowl that Patrick Mahomes won. Tell me when he was really dominant. I ain't talking about a drive, but tell me when he was really dominant. I'll wait. Tom Brady won, I think out of the 6, 7 Super Bowls he won, he might have been dominant in 3. One year with the Rams, he ain't scored a touchdown. Scored a touchdown. He might have been dominant in 3. One year he was dominant, he lost. But what people go, let me say the last part of this thing, when you say that, see, we want to, our fan base wants to put everything on that because we the only team that says it's all or nothing. No, losing teams always say it's all or nothing about what the quarterback does. That's losing teams. You don't hear Seattle say that. You don't hear Kansas City say that on their run. You don't hear them talk about, well, you know, we ain't gonna win if Patrick Mahomes don't play well. You don't hear that. Listen, Philly don't say that. They let y'all talk. They care about winning games. We the only organization says it's all on Dak Prescott. If we gonna find a way, we got fan bases out there now. We got what we call fans that already flipped the script, regardless of how bad the defense was. They have already blamed Dak Prescott. And I guarantee you, if we had a chance to interview DeMarcus Lawrence, I guarantee you, if I wish I had a chance to interview DeMarcus Lawrence, let me tell you one of the major questions I would ask DeMarcus Lawrence. I would say DeMarcus Lawrence, D-Law, when you in Dallas or when you was in your new team in Seattle, did the locker room put everything or let everybody put everything on the quarterback? Did the locker room hide behind the quarterback for not doing their job because they always knew that if we fail as a defense, if we fail at giving up penalties, if we fail at not stopping somebody on fourth down or stopping them for a touchdown, if we fail by missing a block or we fail by turning the ball over or the coaches made a bad call on the sideline, do everybody hide behind because they say, regardless if we fail, eventually everybody gonna look and blame that and we're gonna be able to get away with it. That's what this organization does. This is what this fan base does. So instead of saying, man, we lost as a team, we find somebody to blame. And this ownership hide behind Dak as well. Because if they don't do what they're supposed to do, they'll subliminally make the message that is Dak Prescott. And everybody on this team, when the defense don't go, they'll stay and hide. And I'm gonna say it, the Michael Parsons, the Diggs, they're high. Because I have heard none of them say. The only person I have always heard say every year, I got to play better. I got to do better is Dak Prescott. Everybody else makes excuses. Everybody else hides behind that. Because they know if they fail, eventually your fan base, media are going to blame Dak. They're going to say, Dak getting all that money and we ain't got no Super Bowl. We can't get no Super Bowl. And that's one of the biggest problems in Dallas. Accountability. When is the whole team going to take accountability of saying we didn't win because we were not good enough? We weren't good enough on special teams. We weren't good on defense. We weren't good on offense enough. We weren't good as a coaching staff enough. We weren't good as the ownership enough. And guess what, people? We weren't good enough as damn fans. But you know what we'll do? We'll find a way, losing teams, find a way to say it's all about the quarterback. Look at all the perennial losing teams. And what they always talk about. Make no difference what quarterback they get. They always talk about, well, no, he can't get to the Super Bowl. They get rid of that person. They never talk about nobody else. I'm a former coach, so I might blame myself a little bit more. Because you know how hard it is to win a Super Bowl as a starting quarterback? There ain't but 37 quarterbacks that won Super Bowls in the 60 Super Bowls that we played. I mean, 38 now because McDonald is the one. 38 out of 60 starting quarterbacks. You know what? Ain't but 38 coaches, the exact same amount of coaches, head coaches that won Super Bowls as head coach. That's hard too. Don't you know it's been 530? I think in the years of Super Bowl years, it's been 530 some coaches, but ain't but 38 won Super Bowls. And God forbid how many quarterbacks it have been, starting quarterbacks it have been in the NFL. And they were 37 won Super Bowls and starting quarterback. So y'all act like that's something easy to do. And Troy Aikman won a Super Bowl, and he did what he had to do his first Super Bowl he won. I'll wait. The defense scored through 4 touchdowns and got 7 turnovers. So what did Troy have to really do? And some people think I'm talking about Troy, talking bad about Troy, but I'm telling you the facts. Super Bowl number 2, Troy came in the game with a concussion. And in the first half, he was got doggone interception. See, none of y'all don't want to hear that. And they had to go to the running game, and the defense had to save our butt in Super Bowl number 2. Super Bowl number 3, our offense ain't do nothing the second half. And our defense saved us again. But y'all want to say, that guy be a miracle worker. But know what y'all say? Oh, he won Super Bowls. But y'all don't want to take the context. Because we got football fans that's Cowboy fans that are too lazy to know the damn history of the damn team. Go learn your history and you'll understand where I'm coming from about our DNA. If it didn't change from 70 to all the way to 90, what makes you think now it's changing now? Just because you can say you right, Cowboy fans, and say, oh, that's that old school way, all that. You know why it's the old, there was a new school? Every year you got the same amount of teams playing for the championship. And you got about 27 other teams that play that new school football that's losing. And every year, the top defensive teams are always competing for championships, and the teams that got the worst defense are sitting themselves home talking about how they can pass the ball or how many more offensive players we can get. Or how bad the quarterback is. And you know, this here. We talk about notable edge rushers. Develop the guys you got. You got guys you can develop. You got guys, but here we go. But I put it like this. I gave you this defense can be fixed with good draft picks. The secondary can be fixed. I'm gonna say it again. I might need to go back because some people ain't here in the back. But I'm gonna prove my point for 3 straight years. Let's go look at it again. Because I know I got some people just came in. Let's look at it again. And if you want to go out and check it out, go out and check it out. 2023. Kansas City relied on several rookies the year that they won back-to-back Super Bowls. Matter of fact, in 22, they had an all-pro cornerback. I can get his name. He was all-world. They traded him to the Titans and still replaced him with some rookies. And they went to the Super Bowl. That team offense that year, the offense did score 6 games. They didn't score a touchdown in the second half. In 6 games in that year. The AFC Championship game, the offense ain't scored no points in the second half. They took several rookies, featuring a first-round pick, a second-round safety, and a 4th and 7th round cornerbacks, and they played a significant contribution in forming a young core that was critical in the championship run. So if y'all say you can't do it with rookies, if you got guys, if you believe the guys you bought in here, let them do their work. We got guys that I think got talent from last year. But you got to improve the safety. You see one of those people was a safety. Philadelphia, the next year, I guess Philadelphia say, well, dog, Kansas City did it last year. Well, let's do the same. We got some struggles because remember in 23 they struggled at the end with their defense. So they said, well, you know something, we struggle with our defense. We brought, and Mr. Parker was over there. They said, hey, let's go out here and draft Quentin Mitchell, and let's go and draft Cooper Dean, and then we're gonna put them in the lineup from start week 4, and then Cooper Dean gonna intercept the ball in the Super Bowl, and we're gonna go all the way to be the #1 defense with 2 rookies on the back end. And Slay was hurt half the year. Every time you look around, Slay was in and out. So I said, okay, well, that's catching lightning in the bottle. Let's go to this year. Seattle, stand out. Their best secondary guy was a guy that was a rookie from the University of South Carolina. Big, what I love about a safety. 6'3", 220 pounds, can run like the wind and will knock you out. But they loved him because he became to be able to play multiple positions, and he became a guy that can cover slots, cover tight ends, and support the run. A swift army knife, and I guarantee you that was made that defense pop. When you got a swift army knife playing safety, he is dominant. They did it with three years in a row, Super Bowl champions, #1 defensive league Seattle, a #1 defensive league Philly, and Kansas City was a #2 or 3 defense, probably top 3 defense the year they won it. Matter of fact, Kansas City, look this up. They only gave up 10 plays over 30 yards that whole year in 23. That's how they built their defenses. And you tell me we got 2 first-round draft picks? And you don't think we can't turn this defense around? Bullshit. We got to go chase guys and get guys in their 30s. And people telling you all around the league, you deal with the young defense. You get veterans for offense. I could get a Cooper Kupp to come in there, a Cooper Kupp to come in and just do a role for me offensively, and he use his brain, his when I can get a veteran receiver to come in, and I got a dog with him, and he can do certain things and be able to get certain things done because he's got smarts and got a little vernacular we can scheme in, and he'll get open because of his smarts. But when I got to deal with defense, baby, I need dogs that can run, kick, and be there every minute that I need. I don't need guys that I got to say, man, well, they bruised up, they're out this week. I need dogs. I need dog chasers. I don't need guys on defense that say, well, I'm trying to save my body, run up to piles like Hooker and Lee Hooker, run up and film don't lie, run up to piles and watch it. I need guys to go in there and try to knock stuff loose, intimidating people. I need guys, if you're going to play a 3-4, guess who's going to be the stars of a 3-4? If you got 2 interchangeable safeties, they're going to be stars. If they dogs, they're going to be stars. But if y'all enjoy the coaching staff like you said, and they're dogs, let them cook. There's enough groceries. There's enough starting off groceries in this cabinet. I'm not saying you ain't going to go get some free agents, but you're going to get people who fit. It may not be the biggest name that y'all might want to have, but they got to fit a role. They got to fit what you want them to do and do it to perfection. But you can get your first 3 draft picks, defenses, the 2 first rounds and a 3rd round draft pick. I guarantee you, some of these other teams will take that and build a damn #1 damn defense. And if you went and hired these coaches, anybody who hired a job. When I went to interview, you know what the coach told me? He said, man, coach, you know the situation here at the school. You know we are 1A. We ain't really got nothing going on. We don't have no resources. can you work with no resources and become and give us a successful, competitive football program? Because you ain't gonna have everything, but can you put in a system that's gonna make us play competitive and be good enough to show that we work hard here? I say yes. Anytime you hire anybody in a job, if I gotta hire you at a job and then I gotta go spend $15-30 million to make you successful, I could have kept the people I had and added some people. But they went and hired Parker because they felt Parker can get them where they want to go. That's right. You can try. Let's hear DNA. Cowboys DNA. Out of all the triplets you see, all the people y'all talk about, the Michael Irvins and the Troy Aikmans and the Emmitt Smith and the Dorsett, their DNA has always been dominating defense. We have never won a Super Bowl. I have dominated defense. We have had more. There's only 10 Super Bowl defensive MVPs in league history in 60 Super Bowls. There's only 10 guys that were defensively that won MVP. We got 4 of them out of 10. Matter of fact, we got a defensive MVP in Chuck Howland on a team that didn't even win the Super Bowl, and he was a defensive MVP. That's how dominant he was. And in the Super Bowls that we did win, we won one Super Bowl in the 77 where we got 7 turnovers when our Dallas Doomsday defense turned the Denver Broncos over 7 times, and we had co-MVPs as the defensive tackle in Randy White and a defensive end in Harvey Martin were co-MVPs. Was Roger Staubach was on that team, and Drew Pearson was on that team, and Tony Dorsett was on that team. And then you want to talk about the 90s, the first Super Bowl we won 56-17. The defense almost scored more touchdowns than offense. If Leon Lett don't get the ball script, we did score more touchdowns than offense. And they gave an MVP to offense, but for what? James Watson should have got 2 years of defense MVP. And then our last Super Bowl, Larry Brown gets the MVP. We got 4 Super Bowl MVPs off defense. Larry Brown, Chuck Howland, Randy White, and Harvey Martin. So every big game that we have had, guess what? In our history, defense won. So that's our DNA. So y'all can talk about going and get Pickens and trying to do it offensively. What you're trying to do is fight who your organization is. Let me give you another point, case in point. Our organization before Jerry Jones act like they didn't want to play players. Dwayne Thomas, number 33, the running back that we won our first Super Bowl. How he had to sit out in football and he wouldn't even speak to the media or the team because we wouldn't act like we didn't want to pay him. Drew Pearson, how he had to fight for his money. Too Tall Jones, when he quit football because the Texas fan wouldn't give him, he went to play boxing because we wouldn't give him no contract. This ain't no different. Know your history. This is the DNA of how they do in Texas. But we still shine. When our defense dominated, we dominated. And I leave you again with this. Seattle took a blueprint of a dominant defense where none of the defensive players made the Pro Bowl. They had a good running game and a quarterback that do some timely throws and a great wide receiver. Newsflash for everybody who think it's old school. That's the exact same blueprint the Dallas Cowboys used when they won their first Super Bowl with Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith. That year, their defense was number one. That year, they had no Pro Bowlers. That year, Emmitt Smith was the leading rusher. That year, Troy Aikman threw to Michael Irvin and was timely with his throws. That year, they had a number one defense. That year, they won the Super Bowl. That year, the defense dominated the Super Bowl. Same damn blueprint, people. Same blueprint the Eagles used the year before. Y'all talking about trying to use a blueprint that has been tested for years. But everybody thinks it's another one. Get with me when you don't have no facts. I ain't gonna say nothing about, hey, if I didn't know, you know your history, then you'll understand. And I always say this about history. History is either gonna teach you some great lessons. Everybody out there, either history, I don't care what it is, about football, basketball, life, everything. The Bible is history. History is going to either teach you great things or it's going to hide things that will damage you for the rest of your life. People who hide history don't want you to learn nothing, or they want to hide how they have always made you, how they have gotten over on you. You don't learn your history about your Cowboys, you keep repeating the same stuff that's hindered us the whole time, trying to do something that we are not. Get this defense together and start with the safety position. If Caleb Downs is your guy, damn it, go get him. If the next safety guy is a guy that's got some size and speed, go get him. Fix that. Because every time you've had a dominant defense in Dallas history, that was a pivotal part of your defense. From Charlie DeQuiff Waters to Darren Woodson, James Washington, Thomas Everett. And my guy from Oklahoma. Fix that. And I'm going to hold on to that. And I'm not going to argue back and forth with a lot of people. But I guarantee you, if my man is worth what he think he is, Mr. Parker, he's going to address that first. Oh, yeah, you can get another linebacker. But I guarantee you, get you two dominated safeties, they make your linebackers look better. But y'all ain't never heard it. You ain't never heard y'all ain't never heard y'all ain't never heard Ray Lewis really talk about Ed Reed and how Ed Reed made him better. See, strong and free safety work hand in hand with linebackers. They like right and left hand. One weak, it makes the other one look weak. Both one strong, it makes the other one strong. Both working together gives you a dominant back end. And then what they do is they help the cornerbacks for the cornerbacks just to be free and do their thing. They run the show. They the controllers. They're the controllers and the law. Linebackers and safeties. I've been on here too long, man. I got to get myself ready because I got to get out of here and do some things and get out here. But listen, I had to come in. Please, I tell you this, man. For all my content creators out there, Lou Takes and all these guys, all my guys that's out here that be on the brother, man, please share this, man. Share it out there and share it with somebody and tell people, say, hey, man, if you subscribe with them, come over here so I can get Coach Marv and get his other 200 subscribers so he can get to that 1,000 plateau. Do that for Coach Marv, man. Let's try to push me to get to that 1,000 plateau. Like I said, if you want to support the channel, man, sending your cash apps would be greatly appreciated. If you want to send a cash app, this is my cash app. on the screen here. Send me a cash app, man, so I can keep trying to uplift this show. But try to share this. Tell people to go out. Send it to your groups. Let's get those 200 subscribers so I can move into the other realm of monetization. I love everything that y'all putting out there. I appreciate all of y'all. I'm not in here to try to be divisive and argue. I'm telling you, we can get this together, people. But defense has to be a weapon. Defense is a weapon in Dallas. I want everybody to put that in the chat. Everybody who's out there that still sign on, that's listening in the chat, I want you to put in the chat right now. Defense is a weapon in Dallas. That's our mantra. That's what we're going to preach. Defense is a weapon in Dallas, and we're going to get everybody saying that. We're going to get Parker, this defensive coordinator, these defensive players that say, we are going to be the weapon in Dallas defense. Not be just better, we're going to be dominant. We're going to get back to our DNA as a football team. And defense is going to dominate, and our offense is going to make plays. But defense is the weapon in Dallas. Thank you again. I always want to leave you with this. No one, nothing can stop God's will. Hold on to that, man. Hold on to that, because that's the truth. And when you start to feel that anytime you start feeling down low, man, hope plus faith plus perseverance, that's going to equal breakthrough. Hope plus faith plus perseverance is going to equal a breakthrough. Buckle down. Hold on. Have that hope. Put the faith to it and persevere through all the struggles, and the breakthrough is coming. Until next time, I'll talk to y'all probably after this Valentine's weekend. I'm going to see my honey Ginger, and I'm going to get on the road to go see her for Valentine's. I'm going to have me a good time with Valentine's. But until next time, people, salute. Thank you. I'm out.